Hi, Tam Wrigley here, and welcome to this week's episode of the 1 o'clock show. It's a big week in news, so today we brought in the big guns. This week we chat about schoolyard body image issues, Melbourne's new rainbow coffee craze, letting our kids play rough, and a whole lot more. Who are our special guests this week? Well, you're about to find out. All right, so cheers, happy Friday,
cheers.
Happy 5 o'clock.
Oh, Friday knockoffs.
Friday knockoffs. Welcome to the 1 o'clock show. We have the gorgeous Rosanna Natoli from 7 Local News.
Hello.
Hello, hello.
Hello.
And international cricket commentator, Danny Morrison.
Hi, Tam.
Hello, Dylan.
Like it here.
Yeah, I know, a bit of a wine. Have you had a guzzle already?
It's not bad. Is it kiwi? Oh, yes.
Of course. I had to have kiwi.
They do make some good things.
I knew that a kiwi was coming on today. Thought I'd better step it up. Yeah? Cheers.
Oh, let me try.
It's all right.
It's good. You're not really a white man, though, are you?
I like it dark. Red. Yes, I am a red man. You're quite right.
Children as young as 9 are throwing their lunch away due to body image concerns. With eating disorders on the rise, our panel carve up the concept of teachers acting as lunchbox watchdogs. Okay. So do you think it should be a teacher's responsibility to check that our children are eating every day?
I think we already ask a lot of our teachers and whether or not they're allowed to share lunches. You know, kids can't share lunches because of allergies or because of varying issues there. So to ask them then to make sure that they are also eating what they are and aren't eating, it's a big ask.
It's a huge ask, considering, you know, when you've let the kids out of the school to go to lunch and you've got probably 700 children racing around the field and playing, you know, it's hard to then sit, go, have you eaten? Where did your lunch go? Checking the rubbish bins, you know, who's throwing what out? Because that was the big thing with, I think as young as 9-year-old girls are throwing their lunch into the bins.
And see, that's where it's a frightening issue, isn't it? That the body issue is already becoming so prevalent at a young age.
Do you think that's driven by celebrities? You know, like I think I was reading another article where celebrities are, you know, endorsing all of these products, and people are looking at them and going, oh, okay, well, if they're doing it, I'm going to do it.
You
Danny?
Well, and being overseas a lot, you see it as well. And like I travel a lot to India with cricket, of course, in the Caribbean, up in the UK, wherever it is, you can't get away from it. The billboards, the advertising, it's there, celebrity status, whether it's Bollywood or Hollywood or Jollywood, whatever it is, you see it. But in terms of the question that you just asked, and I just think it becomes back to education, and you've got the children being looked after by the teachers there, and so somehow does it get involved in the curriculum somehow, in the health angle with your food that is important, that you're educated. And so a lot of cultures sit down and respect food, that you should have to sit down and be with your food and pay attention to that. I'm not saying you have to have a prayer around food, but a lot of us do that. Families sit down and give thanks to this food, give blessings on this food where it's created, all that sort of thing. And so then you're imbibing, you're taking on all that good energy. So whether that could be done in the schools, that educators sit down and actually do all have to sit down and not run around and sit on their phones and do lots of selfies, try to look good, not, and then all that sort of thing. Yeah, so they're distracted. I think there's all that bombardment that you've just been talking about. So then be educated around sitting around and enjoying your food and actually respecting the food. To then eat it and hopefully swallow it and not be...
But I guess too, I agree with what Rosanna was saying before too. We do put a lot of pressure on our teachers these days. One, you know, education is huge, and between, you know, 8:30 and 3, that's their primary goal. And then, you know, they were talking about, oh, you know, teachers should be disciplining your children, and teachers should be now checking their lunches being eaten. You know, where do we stop and where do we draw the line?
I think that's a really big issue. We have tended to devolve that responsibility away from parents and families and tried to push it outside of the family. And I think, you know, somewhere it does need to stop with parents, with families, extended parents, guardians, whatever it is, that those sorts of basic issues do come back to the family and the home.
Yeah, we're the greatest role models, your parents. It's just obvious. You wanted the children, hopefully you wanted the children. If you do, then I'm sorry, there comes a certain responsibility with it.
Jennifer Hart from the University of the Sunshine Coast says play fighting helps children develop an understanding of right and wrong, trust and conflict resolution. Miss Hart says parents should encourage more rough play as it helps children develop an understanding of right and wrong. Other benefits include kids learning about trust, empathy, restraint, cooperation, conflict resolution and coordination. So Danny, do you think we should be teaching our kids rough play, and what are your thoughts on this?
Well, it's in the dictionary, isn't it? Rough and tumble. It's there, and those words go, I think, hand in hand. Look, and it's easy for me, the yin and the yang here on the couch. I just think jeez, stop it already. No more.
No more. I said, Danny.
Save that Kiwi wine for me. Anyway, so I look, personally, we grew up with that. Yeah, of course, you don't have to look at us, older generation. We did. And last time I checked on a trampoline, we didn't have the lovely, cosy little fence thing around it, the protective.
And it's a wonder you ever made it to adulthood.
That's what you hear.
And like cushioning around all the springs,
I know.
We used to get pinched with the springs.
Yeah. So, look, and I know it's a different landscape today. Sure it is. It's the 21st century and all that. But I just think it's great, and particularly not just for males, anything with dad or his uncles or, brothers fighting and rough and tumbling. But, I taught hers early. She's the oldest, rough and tumble fashion, and my daughter loved it. So Taylor is only 18 months younger than Jake, but she loved the rough and tumble, and Jake and I were wobbling around. She'd dive in on it too, in the playing a bit of ball that then developed into rough and tumble in the lounge or out in the garden there in the backyard. And Taylor would, she'd get into and she'd give as good as anyone. She'd be in there bashing and stuff like that, and liking that physical contact through sport, but also playing. And I think I hear where people are coming from. A bit of robustness is not wrong to have that in as much as anything, where we're so keyboard warriors and everything's so soft.
The only issue I have, and the concern, and let me just say that if this sort of rough and tumble and playing rough with each other leads to better conflict resolution skills, my children will be experts because they really do know how to be rough with each other. I guess, so that's fine between siblings up to a point, because then they get a little bit older and then that's not okay.
No.
And so it's also teaching, I guess, and recognising when is it not okay. And there are times when it really is not okay, and we need to say that's not okay.
I was going to say that, are we then teaching the children that it's okay to thump somebody when they don't agree with them?
Or if they win the point, bam.
Yeah.
And I've just come back from India. This big cricket thing we do. Boring. But anyway,
cricket.
What's that?
I put the cricket on.
You Aussies eat those, don't you?
They're those noisy things in the backyard.
I'm going to fry them on the barbie.
They stick them on sticks in China as crickets,
But I came back and I saw your adverts about it starting with youngsters. That was a domestic violence advert I just saw recently.
Yep.
So I can see pros and cons where that leads to. Totally get that. And there's obviously far too much domestic violence in this country, around the world anyway. So when I look at that, I hear what you're saying.
I don't think we should cotton wool our kids. I don't want to say, oh yes, let's ban rough and tumble play, because that would be ridiculous and we're setting ourselves up for more problems further down the track. So I don't want to say that, but yes, it needs to be that line, and it comes back again to that sensible parenting, doesn't it?
Yep. Melbourne is known as the coffee capital of Australia, but it's just been getting a little weird lately. The city is getting pretty experimental when it comes to their caffeine comforts, and now rainbow coffee is becoming a thing. But it might be an acquired taste, as it's not exactly coffee you're getting. The rainbow coffee is a healthy alternative created by a cafe called Too Many Chefs, and the owners claim the drinks give you your vitamin C fix, fights the flu, boosts your immune system, and acts as an anti-inflammatory. Rosanna, are you a coffee drinker?
I am a coffee drinker.
Are you going to be switching to the new rainbow coffees?
No. In a word, no. Having said that, I get that if you don't drink coffee, you still want to be part of the whole coffee culture. We've developed that. We now have turned ourselves into people who go out for coffee, who go out and share that. And it's about sharing time, it's about sharing something that's warm and lovely to drink. all of that in a social setting. If you don't drink coffee, I can understand that you'd be missing that.
Yep.
So this is a great alternative, I think, because really that's what going out for a coffee is about, plus getting a really good shot and some really good milk and it tasting really good, all of that as well. So it's about all of it. What about you?
Well, Kim and the gang do bullet coffees, don't they? And so you can get your different ways of getting a fix and using all these different things like almond milk now and the almond butter. You're throwing different foods within a coffee and blend it up differently. Comes out.
What do you do?
I love a simple coffee.
You're a simple man, then.
The very basic hobbits from Aotearoa, but really, love a promotion. But I just think, I just like it simple. Whether it's a latte, I like almond milk. I'll do almond milk. I'll do normal milk. But I do like it as simple cappuccino, double shot latte, a flat white. Mix it up. Yeah. But I hear what you're saying. Yeah, I mean, I must admit, I'm a coffee person like dear Roseanne. I'm a
to
coffee
this side of the
person.
couch.
Yeah, but I also on this side of the couch, I would have the shot. I would have get your vitamins, get your green food in, probiotics, whatever it is, get it into you separately. It doesn't have to be a coffee.
Yeah.
It doesn't really have to be. I mean, as much as I enjoy coffee,
It's probably that whole mental, like that whole, as you were talking about the cup, hot coffee, just sitting there drinking in the coffee cup. It's that whole, that warmth and that mental.
It's a whole experience.
Yes.
It's an experience.
And winter's perfect. Of course it is. I mean, it's hot coffee and it's cold, supposedly.
Do you think it'll take off?
I think I do. I think there's a real mixture and crossover that it becomes semi one-stop shop a little bit. Yes, you can go to your specific areas, and I know in other parts of Australia, sport in Melbourne, for sure. And
Melbourne's like the coffee
yeah,
capital
it
of
is,
Australia.
absolutely, and I get that. But I also get these guys in Melbourne that are developing this. So then you've got options of getting your health fix and kick with those who just want to have
Well,
coffee.
and appealing to the customer who
Yeah.
doesn't want to go out and
Yeah.
have a coffee but still wants to go out and share at that time.
What's in a name? Well, it seems a lot if it becomes a joke on the Ellen DeGeneres show. A 35-year-old woman from Georgia is taking legal action after her name was used in a joke on the show during a popular segment called What's Wrong with These Ads and These Signs? Take a look.
Kimberly Jones from Warner Robins, Georgia. My husband saw this sign and thought your viewers would enjoy the name of this realtor. Titty Pierce. Oh, Titty Pierce. Sounds like she might have spent some time in that nipple home. I don't know. Thanks for sending those in. If you see a sign that's not quite right, please send it to me. We'll be right back.
So do we think that she's being just a little bit too precious?
Well, let me first of all say that the fact that her mobile phone number was broadcast, foolish oversight, that is not good. That is not good at all. And TT versus what Ellen called her, I'm sure it's not the first time.
Well, she was saying in her 35 years of being TT Pierce that she reckons that no one has ever called her Titty.
How silly is that? You must have been, surely.
Surely. She's not Australian then, obviously, because we would have called her that and worse for sure.
Cut to pieces.
Now, Danny, we saw that you got a bit of a blast on the on the TV a few weeks ago with something that you did on TV.
Yes,
Yeah.
naughty. Well,
Naughty.
The funny thing is,
You, naughty.
No, never. In the past, I've done things and got into trouble for it. But this one, where I had the turban on, and we're up for viewers, we were up in Mohali, Punjab, part of India, and had the traditional garb on, and I had to have the beard on, and I had to glue it on. And so what I was doing was pieces to camera for Indian television on Sony, and then they said, look, we want you to do the toss. And so the production crew, they're saying, can you leave it on, please? So I had to ask the producer and the director, and they said, just a minute, Danny, I just want to ask some of the big bosses if it's not going to be insensitive, culturally insensitive, going to upset people, get you into trouble. You've been in trouble before. It's last thing you need. Morrison, you get
You already know where this is going, right? Everybody knows where this is going.
good shot. So then I did the toss, and of course then on social media, which then I've only just got into doing Twitter, I got dragged kicking and screaming into the 21st century. So
Welcome.
Yeah, exactly. So then I had to go. I've started it in the last 8 months. So then a huge bombardment on that, And the whole PC thing and the whole political correctness thing about me, being insensitive, the captains didn't look very happy with me. So they don't know the whole big picture, so then they want to dive in. And it's a classic thing with media, and you and I are in media and get to see the other side of it where they want to have a crack at you, want to sell airtime or newspaper.
Headings.
Yeah, absolutely, because it sells papers.
Do you sell papers?
No.
Danny Morrison
I did when I was
sells
14.
paper.
The paper route.
Yeah.
That was it.
You were a paper boy.
But yeah, ridiculous. And so then it gets blown out of proportion, and people don't get the full amount of the jigsaw.
So do you think TT is being a little...
Well, she's suing her, isn't she?
Yes.
So clearly it's about the moolah.
Yeah.
Well, you can understand. It's Ellen.
But don't you think that, like, I saw the billboard or the little A-frame that was on the side of the road with her name and I don't know what she was selling and her mobile number. Surely people who drove past that sign, the millions of people, would have seen it too and like, oh, let's just have a joke at this lady's expense and ring her anyway, whether it was on Ellen or not.
Yeah. TT, and then Titty Pearson, and she must have been called that. Must have been. Like her old friend Nora.
Nora?
Nora Nipolov. The Baltic chick, the Baltic newscaster. Have you not seen that?
I really should
back
have
from the
gone that
80s.
way, yeah. I asked the wrong question. Well, I guess it's a lesson, again, back to parents. Make sure you test the child's name multiple times before you name your child.
And never let Danny Morrison on the show again.
Rosanna, have you ever had an awkward moment on TV?
Well, the only, probably lots of awkward moments, but the only one where I was a little bit in trouble is, of course, doing the weather. And sometimes when you say it's going to be sunny, people are happy or not happy. If you say, oh, isn't this rain great? The tourism officials say, no, we don't want rain.
Yeah.
And I did say, oh, and unfortunately, it's going to rain this weekend. And people who wanted rain, like farmers and people who were desperately crying out for rain for their water tanks, took offence to that and weren't happy. And basically, you can't please everyone all of the time, or perhaps even anyone all of the time sometimes. But, so I have sometimes. I'm now really much more careful about putting that kind of a spin on the weather because people really, really take their weather seriously.
Yes. And speaking of weather, you've got to shoot off shortly.
I do.
Channel 7.
Straight over to the studios.
Stockings and all.
Yes.
I dressed up for you, Dave.
Oh.
Yes, so I'm doing the weather tonight, so I'll head over to the studio and do that for regional
I
Queensland.
look forward to your faux pas on it.
Well, I'll try not to make one, actually, Danny.
Should we give her a... Should we give her
You've done this before.
a secret password?
A code word.
A code word to use on air tonight when she's doing the weather?
Okay.
You did that with Kim, didn't you?
I have done that with these two girls, yes. I'm a little bit afraid right now of what the word might be.
Do you want to do a little what's happening this weekend on the Sunshine Coast while Danny and I think about the code word?
Stick.
Because, of course, it is a big weekend on the Sunshine Coast. Public holiday today in the old Maroochy Shire, so in the central part of the Sunshine Coast, have been on holiday, and that's, of course, for the Sunshine Coast show, so that's this weekend. There's also a festival called Sunshine Brass, where there's brass bands coming to the Sunshine Coast to compete. There's the What's with Wheat documentary is being aired tomorrow with Cindy at Kings Beach Amphitheatre. 6 o'clock tomorrow. So there's so much on. Gympie has a movie, that Sugar movie is showing for free as well. So there are lots. Caloundra Arts and Crafts Centre have their big show on.
Oh, wow. Yeah, it's happening.
Lots happening.
And, get this one, in Mullaney there's a thing called Knit Fest. And it is a fibre art, not that kind of knit, this kind of knit one, pearl one kind of knit, Danny. And so they yarn bomb, which is where you go out and you wrap the wool around trees or buildings. That's called yarn bombing.
Right.
So don't stand still for too long. If you go to Mullaney, you might yarn bomb. And Garden on the Edge. So there's the Garden Festival up in Mullaney as well. There's a lot on this weekend.
Gardener on the Edge.
Not the gardener on
The
the edge.
gardener on the edge. Danny, you've had 2 sips of
No
wine.
more than me.
And you're already naughty. Okay, so have you thought of a word?
Stick. I thought stick.
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 Oh, that's a bit boring, Danny.
Oh, is it?
Stick.
Yeah.
Jeez.
So I could do something like...
What about the 1 o'clock show? No.
Nice try, Tam.
Wine
Nice
o'clock.
try. That might be a little more
Wine
tricky.
o'clock, yeah.
Day
Can you say
has
wine?
been perfect. Wine.
Wait, stop whining.
I could do that. Don't whine about the weather.
See? So anything
Don't whine
good,
about the
really.
forecast.
Let's give it a wine, and then you have to watch the news tonight, Channel 7, and watch the weather and see if Rosanna says the magic word.
Wine.
Wine.
Wine it is. Wine it is.
Hurrah!
Okay, so it is that time of the day that we love so much here on the 1 o'clock show.
Just
It
a
is
little bit afraid, I am.
Never have I ever. Yeah,
Do you know how to play, Danny?
No.
Ah, that's
Like
why
it.
he's not afraid.
I have never. You get a paddle.
Paddle?
Paddle for the panel.
Is this the
Paddle
rough and
for
tumble
paddle.
thing, you know, bashing?
Yes.
Oh,
No.
Smacked into submission.
exactly.
I've never. I'm going to ask some questions, and you have to admit whether you have or you have never. And if you've got a fabulous story that goes along with it, we like to hear it too.
Okay.
How stupid.
I'll start off with something quite simple and light just to get you going.
Okay.
All right. Never
All right.
have I ever forgotten my wedding anniversary. I have never.
Never.
Really?
But-
Never?
No, I haven't, but my wife's birthday,
Oh.
which is close to the wedding anniversary. It's a shame,
Oh.
isn't it? Yeah, we
That's
digress.
Yes, we digress. Never forgotten anniversary.
No.
No, my husband does all the time.
Does he?
All the time.
And you're still married?
Yeah, very much. He just, I don't know, just doesn't register with him, or he forgets the date. Oh, is it the 10th or is it the 12th?
Oh.
Yeah,
Naughty.
every year, and we've been married for 15 years, so it gets
He's had
tired.
lots of practice. Should be getting it by now.
Now, yes.
I think that's what you call a slow learner.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Never have I ever joined the Mile High Club.
I'm looking forward to your answer here, Danny.
I'm like Daddy.
No,
There's no lying in never have I ever.
No, you're quite right. No, I haven't. No, I haven't.
What's
No.
yours say?
Never.
Well, it's a bit easier to now.
Never have I
as we go
ever
through
ever
aces,
lied
isn't
in never have I ever.
it? Yeah, that's
I'm not lying now. I never have. It's just really not that
Sadly.
convenient.
No, sadly, no.
Sadly.
Kim.
Kim, that was Kim's idea. Like,
Oh.
Never have I ever been skinny dipping.
oh, yeah,
Heaps.
of course.
I
yeah.
have all the time. I do it just out here in
Lullaby,
the summer.
yeah.
Not like a lullaby. I'm in my own pool.
I thought you meant just, you know,
Where do you go swimming?
cleaning off at the other end of the lullaby. Different for blokes.
Very different for blokes.
Because we're hidden under,
Under the
bottom.
water.
Yeah, true,
Whereas
true.
women have to be up to
Yeah,
date.
yeah, true. Seriously, yeah.
Never have I ever done something illegal with a family member.
No.
Oh, you're boring, Daniel.
Yeah.
Done something illegal.
Done something illegal with a family member.
Just anything illegal.
Anything.
Anything illegal.
With
Like
a family member.
speeding or something.
Yes,
With-
anything illegal.
Or a hot night on the stove, like some hashish or something. Or edit that.
What?
But yeah, I have.
Oh, have you?
Yeah.
Oh.
What have you done?
What have you done that's illegal?
Oh, I can't sign in. Because it's illegal.
It depends whether or not you ever, were brought to task about that.
No, I wasn't booked task. No, I got a little high. There you go.
With a
that could be
family
elaborate.
member.
Yeah, it could be
Are
elaborate,
you
yeah.
going to
Be specific.
mention the family member?
An uncle. Father. Yeah.
Danny's uncle.
Yeah, the uncle.
Last
father.
week? No, just joking.
Yeah, a while ago. Years
A while ago.
Yeah.
Right.
All right, last one.
Good
Never,
party. Good party.
never have I ever seen one of my co-workers naked.
Never seen a co-worker naked.
Are you sure?
Oh,
I don't think-
always.
Doesn't count if you've imagined them.
No, always.
Doesn't count if
seen,
you've
of course
imagined.
you've seen them naked. I have, yeah. Well, it's different. The credit guys, come and say good day, and you pop next door in their room next door, and they've just got the shower or something, like they're eating the kids and they're naked or something.
Really?
Really? No.
That's just different for you. Your females want a private thing. Blokes just like being in a dressing room. Like you come next door, mate. Just come in and grab that whatever it was, or you left a shirt, whatever you left in there.
Where did they
bottle
leave
of
the
wine.
shirt? Just wondering where the shirt was.
Under the pillow.
Bruffy wears board shorts, but that's a long way from what you're asking.
He doesn't wear board shorts under the news desk, does he?
Yeah.
Does he? So he's only got the suit on the top half.
And boardies or footy shorts,
Yeah,
because he's
yeah.
going straight to footy training.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a lot of guys do that.
Thank you so much for joining me on the show today. You've been too much fun. Cheers. Happy Friday.
Yes.
Have a
Happy
great
Friday.
weekend,
Freaky
and we'll see
Friday.
you shortly.
Yes, actually, I probably shouldn't
no
finish
more wine
this
for you.
glass.
You'll be
because
slow
I'll
for
have it for
weather.
you.
the weather will be
It'll be
fabulous.
give it to me.
Fabulous weather this weekend.
Thanks for watching this week's episode of The Wine O'Clock Show, and a big thank you to our 2 very special guests. The Wine O'Clock Show is on the move, and next week we'll be coming to you from Sydney, thanks to our hotel partners Intercontinental. Who is next on the show? Well, you're going to have to come back next Friday at 5 p.m. here on Facebook to find out who. Don't forget to like The Wine O'Clock Show's Facebook page, subscribe to The Wine O'Clock Show on YouTube, and follow us on Instagram and Twitter. From all the team here at The Wine O'Clock Show, we hope you have a great weekend and a fabulous week ahead.